Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Hare Krishna dear devotees, thank you so much for joining us today. We wanted to seek the blessings of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyamsundar Krishna Balaram, Gaunitai, Srila Prabhupada, and the assembled devotees so that we can share some information about Chandradeva. We've been looking at the different devatas. Started with Lord Brahma, then Lord Shiva, Durga Mataji. Then we looked at Ganpati, Ganesh. And now we are looking at Chandradeva. Who is he? So he's also known as Soma. He's a devata of the moon and is associated with the night, the plants, vegetation. He's one of the Navgrahas, 9 planets of Sanatana Dharma. Dikpala as well, guardian of the directions. Some of the symptoms, the synonyms of Chandra include Soma, Indu, Atrisuta, Sanupatri, Shashin, Shachin, marked by Hare, hair, Tarap Dipa, Lord of Stars, Nishakar, the night maker, Nakshatrapi Pati, Lord of the Nakshatra, Oshadipati, Lord of Herbs, Udharaj, Udhapati, Lord of Water, Kumudnath, Lord of Lotuses, Udapa, boat. In the Vedas, the word Soma is primarily used for an intoxicating plant drink and the deity representing it. Soma is used for Chandra. They're both interchangeable, who is associated with the moon and plant. The Vedic texts state that the moon is lit and nourished by the sun, and that it is the moon where the divine nectar of immortality resides. So moon is actually a very important planet in Vedic tradition. In Vedic texts, Soma is praised as the lord of plants and forests, the king of rivers and earth, father of the gods. The entire Mandal 9 of the Rig Veda is dedicated to Soma, both the plant and the deity. The moon god Chandra was born 3 times, which is why he also came to be known as Trijamni. The first time he was created by Brahma, the second time he emerged from the eyes of sage Atri. Chandra's radiance became so powerful and intolerable that he was immersed in an ocean of milk to ensure the world's survival. Anasuya, who is the Dharmapatni consort of Atri, bore 3 children, Soma, Durvasa, and Dattatreya. It is said that at the time of conception, Anasuya was impregnated by the tears of Atri. During another event, so this is the 3rd time, another event which involved the churning of the ocean by the Asuras and the Devas, Chandra was reborn and released along with Lakshmi Devi. Chandra became to be known as Lakshmi's brother. So Chandra married 27 daughters of Prajapati Daksha, and all these are the different names. Do you want to go through the names?
Ashwini Bharini, Kritika Rohini, Mrigashiras Ardra, Purnavasu Pushya, Shalesha Maga, Purva Falguni, Uttara Falguni, Hasta Chitra, Swati Vishakha, Anuradha Jesha Mula, Purva Shada, Uttara Shada Shravana, Tanishta, Saptapisha, Purva Bhadrapad, Uttara Bhadrapad, Revati.
Thank you. Among his 27 wives, Daksha's daughters, Chandra was especially fond of his 4th wife, Rohini. Spent most of his time with her. The other wives resented this indifference to them and complained about it to their father. Daksha immediately cursed Chandra. May your powers decline with the passing of each day, he said, losing his temper as usual. Now the daughters regretted telling Daksha what they had, what they told him. Their intention was not to punish Chandra. All they wanted was his affection, attention. What if their husband simply disappeared one day along with his powers? Chandra begged Daksha to take back the curse. But once a curse is uttered, no one can revoke it. I'm sorry, son, Daksha said. There's nothing that I can do now. Perhaps if you pray to Shiva, he may help you. Holding on to this slim ray of hope, Chandra went to the famed holy ground, Prabhaspatan, established a linga and prayed earnestly to Lord Shiva. Pleased with Chandra's devotion, Lord Shiva appeared and he said, Chandra, I empathize with your plight. And though I cannot reverse Daksha's curse, I can soften it to some extent. From this day onwards, you will increase in brightness for 15 days in Shukla Paksh, and then wane for 15 days in Krishna Paksh. You will fill the world with your radiance on full moon days and disappear on the new moon days. So this is one of the reasons why the moon waxes and wanes. Chandra was disappointed at the thought of waxing and waning. His crescent shape would just be a constant reminder of the curse and his reduced strength. But Lord Shiva consoled him by saying, my dear child, the crescent indicates that you will still retain some of your powers. I will wear your crescent in my hair to show my devotees that they are very dear to me, even in their lowest moments. That way, you will be my constant companion. So here we see the kindness, the compassion of Lord Shiva, right? So that's why he wears this. He has this moon crescent on his hairpiece and his forehead. This is really amazing pastime. Shows the kindness of the Lord. Thus Shiva came to be known as Chandrasekhar, the one with Chandra mounted on his head. Interesting pastime now. Zodiac and the calendar. Soma is the root of the word somvar, which is Monday in the Vedic calendar. The word Monday in Greco-Roman and Indo-European calendar is also dedicated to the moon. Soma is part of the Navagraha in Vedic cosmic system. They include the sun, so these are the Navagrahas, Surya, Chandra, Mangal, that's Mars, Mercury, Buddha, Jupiter, Brihaspati, Venus, Shukra, and then you got Saturn, Shani, Rahu, north node of the moon, and then Ketu, south node. These Navagrahas in astrology have a great significance. They are a strong influence on a person's life. The 7 names of the week are derived from the 9 planets. Rahu and Ketu are not actually planets, but shadow nodes of the moon. So, Chandra is predominating deity of the moon. He's represented as a copper-colored man riding on a chariot that is drawn by an antelope. Chandra normally has 2 hands, one carrying a mace and the other in boon-giving position. Soma is responsible for the living entity's ability to relish the taste of food through the tongue. Soma is the maintainer of all the plants and trees throughout the universe. And it is due to the moonshine that trees and plants grow very luxuriantly. As a source of food grain, Soma is a source of strength and longevity for all the demigods. So very big responsibility, a lot of power. And of course, we enjoy prasad, and this is all thanks really to the taste-giving Soma. The Yadu dynasty belonged to the family descending from Soma, the moon god. Although the planetary systems are so arranged, the sun comes first before the moon, Parikshit gave more respect to the dynasty of the moon god, Somavans, because in the Yadav dynasty, descending from the moon, Krishna has appeared. So These are two great dynasties, Suryavams, Chandravams. There are two different Kshatriya families of the royal order, one descending from the king of the moon planet and the other descending from the king of the sun planet. Whenever this Supreme Personality of Godhead appears, he generally appears in a Kshatriya family, so the Suryavams, because he has to establish religious principles or the life of religiosity. Soma became the conqueror of the entire universe, and being inflated with pride, he kidnapped Clara, who was the wife of Brihaspati. The spiritual master of the demigods. A great fight ensued between the demigods and the Asuras, because the Asuras took the side of Soma. But Brahma rescued Brihaspati's wife from the clutches of Soma and returned her to her husband, thus stopping the fighting. In the womb of Tara, Soma begat a son named Buddha, or Bud, who later begot in the womb of Ila a son named Pururav, who established the Chandravamsi dynasty. So, and Krishna appeared in this dynasty. Very interesting. A little bit tainted, you could argue, because of Soma's act of kidnapping the wife of Brihaspati. But Krishna makes that whole dynasty completely pure and perfect because he appeared in it. The inhabitants of the island Salmalidwip worship the demigod of the moon in the following words. By his own rays, the moon god has divided the month into 2 fortnights, known as Shukla and Krishna, for the distribution of food grains to the Pittas and demigods. The demigod of the moon is he who divides time, and he is the king of all residents of the universe. We therefore pray that he may remain our king and guide. We offer our respectful obeisances. When the Pachetas, the 10 sons of Prachinabharhi, entered the sea to execute austerities, the planet Earth was neglected because of the absence of a king. Naturally, many weeds and unnecessary trees grew, and no food grains were produced. Indeed, all the land became like a forest. So when these Pachetas, they came out of the sea, they saw the entire world full of trees. They became very angry with the trees and decided to destroy them all to rectify the situation. So they created wind and fire to burn the trees to ashes. Soma, however, the king of the moon and the king of all vegetation, forbade the Pachetas to destroy the trees, since the trees are the source of fruit and flowers for all living beings. Just to satisfy the Pachetas, Soma gave them a beautiful girl, born of Brahmlocha Apsara. By the semen of all the Pachetas, Daksha was born of that girl. So there's a list of temples in Bangladesh, Chandranath temple on top of Chandranath Hill. Karnataka, there's another temple there, Chandramouleshwar in Hubli, in the Unkal area. It's a huge, a very old ancient temple, 900 years old. Tamil Nadu, Thalai Sangha Nanmatiyam, Parimala Ranganath Perumal Temple, Kailash Nathar Temple, Chandra Chodeshwar Temple in Tamil, again in Krishna Giri district, Chandramouleshwar Temple, Thiruvakkarai, Chandramouleshwar, another one in another part of Tamil Nadu. So quite a few temples that Chandradeva has. So this is a brief idea of this Devata. He is like a Jiva, just like you and me, but extremely powerful due to his previous austerities. He has gained the position of Chandradeva and given great responsibility in this world by the Supreme Lord. So he's one of the ministers in the cabinet of Lord Brahma to help him run this universe. But the real boss is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Vishnu, Sri Krishna. So I wanted to stop there. Any comments, any questions? Surinder, anything you'd like to share?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat everybody. Hare Krishna, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. So in Prem Dham Deva Stotram, there are 2 verses whereby it is connected with Chandradeva and Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So it is okay, I'll recite those 2 verses and read the translation, yes?
Thank you so much. That's
Yeah.
you sharing nectar.
Hare Krishna, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Prema Dhama Divya Dirgha Deha Deva Nanditam Hema Kanja Punja Nindi Kanti Chandra Vanditam Nama Gana Nritya Navya Divya Bhava Mandiram Prema Dhama Devam Eva Nomi Gaura Sundaram Prema Dhama Devam Eva Nomi Gaura Sundaram. The tall divine figure of Sri Gauranga Dev enhances the joy of the universal gods, as he is the charming embodiment of pure love. The radiant aura emanating from his beautiful form insults millions of golden lotuses while winning the respect of that effulgent personality, Chandradeva. Sri Gauranga is the background stage of all spiritual pastimes, as exhibited in the ever-fresh dynamic moods of Sadvika Bhava, as seen in his joyful dancing when congregationally chanting Lord Krishna's holy names. I offer my obeisances to that beautiful golden Lord, Gauranga Sundar, the divine form of Krishna Prema. And the second one is as follows. Indu Sindhu Nritta Dipta Krishna Keli Mohitam Urmi Sirsha Supta Deha Vataranga Vahitam Yamunali Krishna Keli Magna Sokhya Sagaram Prema Dhama Devam Eva Nomi Gaura Sundaram. Once on a moonlit night, Lord Gauranga Dev, relishing the sweet mellows of Lord Krishna's pastimes, was wandering along the ocean's shore with his associates. Suddenly the Lord saw the reflection of the moon dancing upon the rolling waves. Unexpectedly, the Lord became overwhelmed by recollections of Lord Krishna's pastimes in the Yamuna river and fell unconscious. Next, Lord Gauranga's body, unseen by the devotees, became as light as a piece of dried wood and was gracefully carried away by the wind god while lying upon the crests of the ocean's rolling waves in a divine trance. Realizing Lord Krishna's water sport pastimes in the Kalindi river with his dearmost cowherd maiden friends, the Lord dove deep into an ocean of divine ecstasy. I offer my obeisances to that beautiful golden Lord, Gauranga Sundar, the divine form of Krishna Prema. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So Krishna is really made these Chandravams glorious, basically.
Excellent. Yes, yes. Yeah, by Gauranga Mahaprabhu's pastimes as well.
And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yes, yes. Chandradeva has been glorified. Thank you. Hare
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. It's very nice nectar you've shared. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So anybody else, any comments, any questions? Otherwise, we can stop today. Okay, Chandradev ki jai, Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki jai.